Ring Ropes and Turnbuckle Podcast coming up next. We talk about Jake Paul versus Tank Davis on Netflix. This is going to be interesting. Coming up next.
Following podcast scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, they are the Internet Podcast.
We back. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell for more content. Hey, before we get started, I just want to say special thank you to all our lovely subscribers, followers on Spotify, followers on Instagram, the whole shebang. 100 downloads for a young podcast like ourselves. That's an amazing accomplishment. As you people know, we have not been in existence that long, but the perseverance, the chemistry, and everything added all together, you know, that season, that adobo, you know what I'm saying, is making us what we are today. We
It's that
appreciate
Lowry
y'all.
seasoning salt. That Lowry seasoning salt.
You said Lowry? Yeah. All those spices put together, you know, we appreciate it, and that deserves a round of applause. So, you know what I mean? We just having fun, you know, doing our tizzle, 1-2 tizzle, but we appreciate y'all for supporting us. Please continue to support us in this journey, because our goal, of course, on YouTube, to get to that 1,000 subscribers for monetization. Our goal is to also get that done over on the podcasting end, on Spotify, Apple Music, and all that. Monetization is important because with monetization, we can gain income. With that income, we can continue to evolve and expand our technology, our everything, so we can bring you the best content possible. So we appreciate it. Anyway, man, the floor is yours, bro.
As we have talked about in the past, especially with, when we did our review of Canelo and Crawford, we said we were going to be stepping outside of the professional wrestling ranks some. This is one that's definitely caught my eye. This one right here. So, everybody's been saying Jake Paul ain't fought an actual boxer. He actually did, but he took the loss in a unanimous decision to Tommy Fury, the brother of Tyson Fury. But everybody's saying that, you know, he's fighting these old, washed up MMA fighters, Anderson Silva, Tyron Woodley, I think Nate Diaz was one, and Ben Askren, you know, people like that. Now he's getting in the ring with a true boxer, a champion boxer. Now, he done called out Canelo since he started boxing. I also saw that at one point before the Canelo Crawford fight, there was an offer on the table for Canelo to fight Jake Paul.
Really?
It was going to happen. Yeah, it was going to happen until Riyadh season got involved. And Riyadh season said, nah, we want Crawford and Canelo. And that's how we got the Crawford-Canelo fight instead of Canelo-Jake Paul. So Jake Paul was like, okay, I'm going to take all this money that we're going to make. I'm going to send it over to Tank Davis. Now, in my heart of hearts, Tank Davis should win this easily. Now, so there's also been every time that he has fought somebody outside of Tommy Fury, people think that these fighters take falls for the money. Could we see Tank Davis take a dive for the money? Because we know he in trouble. We know he in trouble. What you think?
All right, so if we were saying this was going to be Canelo versus Jake Paul, I would say no. He's not going to take a dive. Canelo is too proud of a warrior to do something like that, and I don't blame him because it will desecrate his career in one of the most hideous ways. You know what I'm saying? If you look at Tank Davis now, is a different type of breed. I'm not saying he's a bad fighter. I'm not even talking about his fighting ability. I'm talking about his mental capacity. You know what I'm saying? Because his fighting ability, we all know how great Tank is. He's a very legit world class fighter. Now, where his mental at is at times, that's another story. And that's kind of what I'm hinting at. I feel like he has more of a chance to okay. Now, when we talk about Tank Davis, as great of a fighter as he is, I do question his decision making a lot. So, with that being said, I feel he has more of a chance to take a dive than Canelo would. I just don't see Canelo doing anything like that if him and Jake Paul were to ever fight. And that's why I would see Jake Paul get obliterated in that fight if it was to occur. Now, mind you, if this was anybody else, I would say Tank Davis will obliterate them too. But because every fight we've seen, it's been ended in some sort of controversy, like, you know what I'm saying? I expect the same thing with this fight. Now, if Tank don't take a dive, I believe it could end in some controversy where it's a draw. Or I believe he might just beat Jake Paul, but it's by a smidget with the numbers. The scorecard is kind of finagled a little bit. Or, like I said, or it just is just a draw. Like, I mean, nobody expect this type of fight to happen. I'm like, why? Why? You know, like I the other fights kind of would make more sense than this. This looks like, I mean, have you seen the press conference with this fight? Did you see them stand toe to toe? Like, it looks weird. And I'm not saying it looks weird because one is taller than the other. It just looks weird because this guy's an actual professional fighter. Like, I'm not saying the other people weren't fighters. They were fighters, but their experience in boxing was minimal. Besides what's his face's brother. That's it. Everybody else, their experience was minimal. And if you want to count the whole Tyson versus Jake Paul fight, that was ludicrous as well too, because at first I was like, well, you know, he beat Tyson. You know, he beat Tyson, he spared Tyson, blah, 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 whatever. But then I'm looking at the tapes, and I keep looking at the tapes, and I'm like, wait a minute. Something ain't right. You know what I'm saying? Like, something's not right. And I know you say, well, people could manipulate video and whatnot or whatever. Listen, a lot of those footages that we were watching, as far as like replays, that wasn't AI. That was actually fight. So what I'm saying is that I felt like Tyson was holding back. You know what I'm saying? Even at his old age. One thing you got to understand about boxing, and I learned this, it don't matter how old you are. If you're going against somebody who is not an experienced fighter, when I say that, I'm like, they don't have experience. I don't care how long Jake Paul's been fighting. You cannot match his experience to Tank Davis. You cannot match the level of competition that Tank Davis faced. It's not matchable. The competition Jake Paul faced, the competition Tank Davis faced, it's unmatchable. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same. So you can't compare the two. So what I'm saying is that Tank Davis should obliterate, dog walk this guy. But because of his mental capacity, and I'm not saying he's crazy, I'm just questioning his thinking. Will we see him take a dive and just walk away with the money? Tyson, at his old age, to me, he took a dive. You know what I'm saying? And like I said before, it don't matter the age. Jake Paul don't have the type of experience has. Tyson held back. He could have walloped him plenty of times. I don't care how slow. Like, did you see what I'm saying? Like, did you
Yeah, there were
watch
so
the?
many times. There were so many times where you saw Mike getting ready to throw a punch, but then he pulled back. That kind of stuff. Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, and
Yeah.
it was clear as day. But we know that Tyson has been in some trouble himself. So how do you get yourself out of trouble? You get the bag. So I feel like the same thing is with for the love of all that is holy. If Tank Davis takes a dive in this fight, what Canelo and Crawford did was all for nothing. All for nothing. They showed how a boxing fight is supposed to be. Two warriors going at it for all 12 rounds, putting their all in it. I mean, it 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 ruined what they showed that boxing should be if Tank Davis takes a dive. And quite honestly, I feel like Tank Davis should knock him down. And knock him down. Maybe not out, but knock him down a few times. Because this guy, like you said, this guy does not have the experience that Tank has. Tank has championship fights under his
Mm-hmm.
belts. He's
Mm-hmm.
been a champion in boxing. Jake Paul is just hoping to get there.
Mm-hmm.
So if he takes a dive, it ruins what Canelo and Crawford did.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. If he takes a dive, then everything that they did was all for nothing. You know what I'm saying? And this is why I said like, his mental, I don't know where his headspace is at. If I knew where his headspace was at, then I could tell you. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, man, we just gonna have to wait and see. The
I
fight.
think he's I think his sorry not to cut you off.
No, you good.
I think his mentals are messed up right now because he could have fought actual boxer. I told you about Lamont Roach. He could have ran it back with Lamont Roach. He said no. He could have ran it with Shakur Stevenson. He said no. All to go against Jake Paul. Mind you, Shakur Stevenson, Lamont Roach, and a few other guys that have called him out have stated they are in his weight range. They are in his weight range. Did you know there is no contracted weight for this? They just have a limit. Weight limit. So Jake Paul can actually weigh up to 195 pounds. Tell me, Tank Davis can get that high.
No,
No.
no. The reason why he can weigh up to that is because if Tank Davis hits him with one of them haymakers that he's known for, it won't hurt him as much, and he probably wouldn't go down. Maybe, well, we don't know, but I know the bigger you are, the more you can absorb as far as those punches. And being that Tank Davis is a smaller guy, those type of punches, unless he hits him like blindly, while the guy's not, really adjusted, those punches won't. It'll affect him, but it won't affect him, if that makes any sense. But
So, bro, I just pulled up the contract terms, right? So it's an exhibition fight. So it's not. It's just an exhibition fight taking place in Miami on Netflix. Contract terms: 195-pound catch weight, meaning as long as Jake Paul can stay at or below 195 pounds, that fight still goes on. The weight is mainly for Jake Paul because we know Tank Davis ain't gonna get that heavy.
no, he's not. He can't.
10 3-minute rounds, not 12, like you see in a normal fight, not 12, 10 3-minute rounds. They're using 12-ounce gloves, which is about normal. 8, 10, 12 is around the normal size for boxing gloves. This exhibition, here's what got me. This exhibition will not count towards either fighter's professional record. So, we're talking about taking dives, right?
See what
We're
I'm
talking about
saying?
taking dives, right?
You see what I'm
So,
saying? I didn't even know that. Look, I'm not reading nothing. I don't have nothing in front of me. I don't know that. This is why my man right here is a dynamic one. He knows that. I didn't know that. This is why I said his mental might be somewhere else. I didn't know it was an exhibition. I'm just going off from the vibe that he gives me every time I see him fight. His character, period. Even in the press conference, his character. Even when he's critiquing other fighters, his peers. So I'm just going off of that. So what is going to make the average fan not think that one of their favorite fighters won't take a dive?
see, and that's what gets me. You know what I'm saying? They put in these contracts. You got to look at these contracts, right? Catch weight. Okay, cool. So we know that Jake Paul can be as heavy as 195 pounds. Cool. I mean, it. I guess it's fine. Whatever. If Tank Davis is okay with it, cool. Exhibition fight. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Why is it an exhibition fight? Hmm. Kind of makes you think. Like, why is it an exhibition fight?
Mm-hmm.
And then you read further. Oh, this isn't going to be counted on their records. Tank Davis. I will say I'll give it 60-40. Tank Davis takes a dive. I'm not really sold on him taking a dive because at the end of the day, he is a professional.
Mm-hmm.
But we will find out how that fight is going to go within the first 2 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
If we see from Tank Davis what we saw from Mike Tyson, looking like he wants to throw, but then decides at the last second to not throw it, we know
Mm-hmm.
where that fight's going.
Yeah.
That Tank that took the dive. If we see Tank actually load up and hit him with one, okay, Tank is actually taking this serious.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just something we're going to have to pay attention to. It's just something we're going to have to pay attention to moving forward. But we all know it's a possibility that could occur. That could happen. He could take a dive. But I
I'm gonna
guess we'll
say it
just have to
again. I
see.
said it once already. I'm gonna say it again. For the love that is all holy, Tank Davis, if you take a dive, you would have ruined. Again, I'm gonna again. You are going to ruin what Canelo and Crawford put out there. What they did was show the rest of the world that hey, boxing can put on good pay-per-views,
Mm-hmm.
and it starts here with us. You guys are the next in line. Please, for the love of everything, do not take a dive and ruin what Canelo and Crawford did. If he takes a dive, boxing takes a step back. They
Mm-hmm.
took they took a giant leap forward with Canelo and Crawford. If he takes a dive, it takes a step back.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want that because you know me, I love boxing.
Yeah. Uh, like I said, I believe that's probably what's going to happen. I want to be proven wrong, though. I definitely want to be proven wrong, but we'll see. We'll definitely see. We'll definitely see what is going to take place. You know, we'll definitely see. Yep.
Yeah. I'll close out with that, man. Just don't take the dive. Keep boxing going on in the way that it should be going, which is straightforward. There's a reason. There's a reason why these MMA guys want to come over to boxing.
Mm-hmm.
It's the money. It's the technique because if they can learn the technique in boxing, they can take that back over to MMA and they can instantly become one of the top strikers in whatever promotion they're fighting for.
Mm-hmm.
There's a
I
reason why.
I believe that. That makes perfectly good sense. Yep.
It's a spectacle. Whenever there's a big boxing fight coming on, it's like, I mean, you watch the Canelo Crawford fight. It was like watching the Super Bowl
Yeah.
because it's like when there's a big time boxing fight, there's nothing like watching a big time boxing fight. There's nothing like it. Super Bowl, World Cup, it feels just like one of them kind of events,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's why them MMA guys want to come over. That's why you got Ilya Tapor calling out Terrence Crawford to a boxing match. First off, you don't want that smoke. Um, you got Sean O'Malley calling out. Who was he calling out? Don't get me lying. He called out a boxer. Sean O'Malley's trying to trying to pretty much do the same thing as Conor McGregor and Ilya Tapor trying to get over into the boxing rank. I mean, uh, these guys want the money because we all
Mm-hmm.
know Dana White doesn't pay them well. They want the spectacle and they want the experience. They want the experience and the knowledge of boxing to take you back over there and become one of the top strikers over in MMA. If you can get the technique of proper boxing, not just striking when you just whatever you're doing over there, proper boxing, that could catapult you. They call it the
Yeah.
sweet science for a reason.
Right. Yeah, I believe so. I definitely believe so. Yeah. But like I said, we'll see. We'll see moving forward. I hope I'm proven wrong and he doesn't do that and he actually takes the fight serious and he actually goes for the kill on this one. But with
Sean
it be
O'Malley, by the way, sorry, real quick. I was talking about Sean. Sean O'Malley called out Tank Davis. So there's that.
oh boy. Mm-mm.
Anyways, I just wanted I wanted to make sure I had everything right before I said it. So yeah, Sean O'Malley called out Tank Davis.
Hmm.
Floor is yours. I apologize.
Man, it's crazy, man. These boxing world, man. It's crazy, man, in this combat sports world. It's all about the money. That's all it is. It's all about the money. It really is, you know.
But
All right, so huh?
when it's done right, it's not all about the money. We saw Canelo almost triple what Terrence Crawford took home, but guess who
Yeah.
took home the belts? Terrence Crawford.
Yeah,
But so when
but
it's done right, the money don't matter.
yeah, no, you're absolutely correct. But also we also know too that, you know, Crawford wanted to take the lease. I seen a
Mhm.
comment stating that he wanted to take the lease so he could prove a point, but at the end of the day, he's going to take home more money than what is shown on paper. He's going to take on more money than that. And I believe we talked about that before, so
Yes, sir.
we just got, look at it from that perspective too. Yeah. But anyway, it's your boys, podcast champions of the world. The dynamic one, the insightful one. We'll be back with another one. Ring Ropes and Turnbuckle Podcast.
Following podcast scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, they are the Internet Podcast.